Hello guys, this is a review of the South Korean movie Hope. This movie is based on real life events that are very disturbing. It includes kidnapping, torture, rape. So if you're not an adult, I would highly advise you to not watch this video. And anyone else who is sensitive to these topics, if you don't feel comfortable hearing about them, then please exit as well. For obvious reasons, the names of the real people involved are not shown. They're not used throughout the movie. The main victim, her name is Solon, so sometimes I might refer to her as just a little girl. This movie is about a couple, a regular couple living their um, normal lives. They're struggling to get by. Dad has to work really hard. Mom also works. So they don't have a lot of time for their daughter, but they love her all the same. On a rainy day, she is sent to school and is told by her mother, take the big streets, don't go through any alleys, any um, dark places. Go where there's a lot of people, where people could see you. She goes to school, she's running late, and she is stopped by a man who asks her if he could use her umbrella. He then kidnaps her, tortures her, rapes her, and she is taken to the hospital. They have to replace her uh what is it called? Anal walls, like her um intestine. They have to do a lot of things. So now she has to use the restroom through, I don't know how to translate it from Spanish because I saw this in Spanish. Well, with Spanish subtitles, but it's when you don't have control of your bowel movement, so you have to use a bag where all the stuff goes into. Um, so oh gosh, it's super heavy. Anyway, the recovery process takes a long time, and she is subject to even more torture, I would say, because the police need a confession, and then they get one when she's still in the hospital, and it's still not good enough. The judge wants more. During all of this, the trial, the guy is claiming to be an alcoholic that doesn't remember what happened, so he's trying to avoid responsibility by saying that he's mentally unstable, or like not mentally there when he's under the influence of alcohol. uh There's even a scene where he tries to tell the father, hey, if you let me out, I could work and pay you, but not if you don't let me out. And like he says a bunch of nasty things. In the very end, he is sentenced to, I believe, like 12 years only. And he is supposed to be out now and still living very close to the victim. Now the only way the victim gets by is by like watching cartoons. I read briefly in the movie. um she is also consoled by watching her favorite cartoons, and her dad does everything in his power to bring those cartoons to life by dressing up as that her daughter's favorite character. That's it for the plot. The movie came to me um by my sister. She recommended it to me, and she and she sent me the link because I usually, I have a whole collection of DVDs right behind me, like hundreds and hundreds. I would have bought it, but if hey, it's on Facebook, so if they're not like taking care of their copyright or whatever, that's on them. Anyway, I was forward the link, and I went ahead and gave it a try. I was warned that it was going to be a very disturbing, sad film, and it was indeed that. It's a very well made film. It's very, very good. There's controversy in the film itself because the family it feels like it's exploiting, the real events. I think differently. I'm not gonna question the family or anything like that, but from the outside, how I see it is it brings attention to a very serious crime, something that happens in real life, and something that parents should be very aware of throughout the growing up of their kids, so that they take the best care of them possible. It's never the parents' fault. However, the parents are the ones responsible to take the measures and precautions to make it so that it's less and less and less and almost impossible for this to happen to their children. And even the kids, maybe this isn't a film for kids, but if they could learn something from it, maybe by being told about what happened, then go for it, because everything counts. I think it's very sad that the victim, because in real life she had to go through multiple confessions, and it's just like it's not a called is it called a confession? It's not a confession, it's your testimony. She's giving, she's providing testimony, and she had to do it over and over again and relive what she went through, because they have a very dumb system. I think most countries have a very inadequate system where uh, if there was just a way to prove like if it happened or not, then it'd be so much more simple. But it is what it is. The sentence that the guy got, because that, like they argued in the movie, it wasn't just rape is already a very, very serious crime. It's the one of the worst things that you could do to somebody while leaving them alive. But he didn't just rape her, he tortured her. Like he left her looking like she was run over by a truck or worse. So that's it's crazy that they're gonna he already had charges beforehand. He was already in jail. He had a criminal past, and I mean, very dumb, very dumb. I'm surprised he's still alive. I guess some people just get away with it. And I mean, that's that. The movie, like I said, it's a very well made movie. There's not much to say about this. I know that the family wanted to keep this private, and this is something that I do want to touch up on a little bit. Of course, I could imagine, not having ever gone through any of this type of trauma, but I could imagine how you feel shame, like if somebody if they did something not as bad as this, but still on the sexual molestation type of thing, you might feel shame, and that's understandable. But I think in this culture, correct me if I'm wrong, it's even worse. It's like, no, like we can't talk about it, like don't eat. I know the mom was reacting very aggressive towards her own friend, because she was like, if you told people that it was my daughter and stuff like that. So I mean, of course the victim and the parents might feel like, hey, I don't want everybody to know what happened, like it's exposing my child. But at the same time, it's obviously not the child's fault. It's never going to be their fault. So why carry all that shame? I think that through therapy, and the child obviously goes to therapy, they can understand that while shame is an emotion like any other emotion, it's something that they don't have to carry and they shouldn't carry, because the shame should be on the predator and not them. And that goes the same for people who are beat up by their parents, and some people are like, no, 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 I'm never a victim. Like, I'm strong. I'm not. Yeah, you, of course, understand your strength, flourish from it, but don't deny that you were attacked, and don't try to hide yourself under layers, whether that manifests through staying indoors most of your life or not engaging in relationships. Just I mean, I'm not a therapist, obviously, but I just don't think that shame. I think shame is created more by our surroundings, our own family, rather than what actually, is blamed to bring shame on us. Let me give you an example. Let's say that my dad beats me up. Like he beat me up growing up as a kid. So I'm ashamed of it. And every time anybody mentions, "Oh, and did your dad ever beat you?" I'm like, no, like it's like, no, because I think that that's um counterproductive. You denying it doesn't make it any less real, and you shouldn't feel shame for it. So that's what I'm saying. I should be like, hey, yeah, he did this, and or maybe not like, if you don't want to like point fingers, because I understand that sometimes people feel like I'm causing pain to that person. I forgave that person. I don't want blah. You know what I'm saying? So you could say, yes, I was beat, but that's, in the past. I grew from that, and you shouldn't have to hide, yourself, your face, because you have nothing to be ashamed of. So that's something that was really that got me thinking while watching the film. And I know that in real life the parents were not also very happy about having it broadcast all over the place. But at the same time, if I understand to a certain degree, but if it could help like prevent this from happening any further, then I think it's a very good thing for the rest of the people that it could be prevented um, from happening. I don't know how I phrase that. I'm not speaking right today. One more thing, something that Sowon's dad, well, her mom mentioned it first, is, when this happened to my daughter, I wish that this could happen to every other kid in the world, so that my daughter wouldn't feel different. And then the dad repeats it, and his friend tells him, um, just try to forget it happened. Just imagine that it was an accident, that she got hit by a car, and then move on. And I understand it so much, the friend, because that's that you just want them to, like, you have to get over this, you have to move past it, you have to continue. But that is a wrong thing to say at a very wrong time. And then he just gets out of his friend's car and tells him, what do you think the same of this happened to your boy? Um, you can't just act like nothing happened. Something very terrible happened, and unfortunately, you just have to go through all the uh, walk through broken glass, so to speak, until you, it doesn't hurt that much anymore. Because it's always gonna be there, I think. But definitely, the movie is called Hope for a reason. It provides hope, and I do wish that Sowon is now an adult, that now she's a lot better. And like I said, there's always going to be something, especially the way that she was messed up internally, physically speaking. But um but you could always continue, for sure. And if she has a desire to continue, because I'm not gonna, this is a very controversial subject, but I think if you just have so much pain in your heart and your existence is suffering, and you want out, then I really don't think that they should be forced to endure any more pain than they already were subject to. But that's just my opinion. I would give the movie a rating of 10 out of 10 in its category. However, just 10 out of 10, because it's a really good film, because it has a message. It has uh, a sign of hope literally at the end, and it could be very it could serve a huge it could be of service to people around the world for that reason. However, I don't think I'm going to rewatch it ever again. I wish I could like share it with like my mom, and like so we could talk about it, but I might do that. But I don't think I'm gonna buy it, because I just don't want to go through that again and again. And it's a little, not a little, it's very 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 disturbing, very uncomfortable. And not in the like, oh, horror type of way. Look at this, it's so fun because we know it's all fake. No, it's so um lamentable. Is that a word in English? In Spanish, it's lamentable. Anyway, it is what it is, unfortunately. But let's hope that it's like I said earlier, and I keep repeating, let's hope that it serves a purpose, and we all could do our part in trying to prevent these things from happening. And laws worldwide should catch up on this. And if somebody, I think, does harm to a child in this way, they should just be locked locked up, go through a lot of therapy. And if they think that this person is ready to get out of the mental institution, let them out, but always under some type of surveillance video. Is that some type of uh, I don't know, of guarantee that they won't do it again, whether it be having like a security guard. I mean, it is a lot to ask because these things are expensive, but I think that there are ways to work around this. We just have to brainstorm. And right now I'm blanking out. I'm not even talking right because there's a lot of noise going on in the background. Hopefully you don't get to hear a lot of it. That's why it keeps distracting me like that. So annoying. But anyway, it is what it is. 10 out of 10 in its category. If you wanna it's a tough movie. Like if you want to watch it, go right ahead, but the message is very important. And that's it for this one. Thank you for watching.